Ooh, this should be fun. My last experience with Tinder. Let's go. Dating app, Tinder. Location, Athens, Greece. Year, 2016-2017. Duration on the app, 9 months. Swipes, about 25,000. It was all right swipes. I was swiping right on everyone and everything. Never swiped left. Matches, 7. Conversations, 1. Kind of, she replied on the first message but then never again. Dates, 0. Sounds exciting? It gets better. So, 7 matches out of 25,000 right swipes after 9 months of swiping on the app. And one might say, oh, 7 matches, that's not that bad. Actually, I don't think anyone would say that. That's absolutely horrible. But it gets even worse, believe it or not. So, out of the 7 matches, 2 were bots, they were not actual humans. One was a man. I have no idea how he got there. And by the way, if you are wondering why I swiped right if I wasn't interested in something like that, well, obviously I wasn't looking. I wanted to waste as little time as possible on that app, so I was just swiping as fast as I could in order to complete the 100 daily swipes. I think I could do about 4 swipes per second, but at some point I noticed that if I closed my eyes or if I looked at some other direction while swiping, I could do it a bit faster, maybe 5 swipes per second. Anyway, so that leaves us with probably 4 actual non-bot women. One unmatched instantly, she probably accidentally matched in the first place, and out of the remaining 3 matches, 2 never replied when I said hi, and 1 replied on my first message but then never replied again. Now, to be honest, I realized that there are a few things I could do better in order to slightly increase my chances for better results. For example, swiping only right that fast is probably not the optimal user behavior, and I guess that the app kind of penalized me for doing so. Also, having good photos presenting the best superficial version of yourself is the most important thing in these apps. I only had maybe 8 photos of me taken in the last 3 years, so I had to choose the best 3 out of those 8. If, for example, I had 8,000 photos instead of 8, then I would be able to make better choices. But it was still the average me on an average day. I could also pay Tinder so that it would place me on top of other users and present me to more people. So I guess there was room for improvement, but I highly doubt whether this would make any substantial difference. I also should mention, because that's interesting on how the algorithm works, that the 6 out of the total 7 matches occurred within the first week, maybe the first 3-4 days, then it was nothing, crickets for the next 3 months, then the 7th match occurred, which was a bot, and then nothing for the next 6 months. So what I think happens is that initially Tinder presents your profile to users, firstly to give you that dopamine hit, because if you are presented to people you will get matches, but that also acts as a poll in order to quantify your dating market value according to how people respond to your profile. If your score/value is below a certain threshold, then you practically get shadow banned. Your profile is almost invisible unless you pay. Now, what the threshold is, I don't know. I suppose it depends on the location and more specifically the male-female ratio on the app for the specific location. For example, I was reading recently that the UK Tinder male-female ratio is about 9-1. There are almost 9 males for each female. In that case, the threshold should be quite high, and I wouldn't be surprised if the bottom 80% or even 85% of men got shadow banned. Now, it was obviously 0 dates after 25,000 swipes in 9 months, so I can't really say how long it would take me to get a date. I mean, using this data, it would take me infinite time, but I had a couple of matches, and given in general that a percentage of matches ends up in conversations, and a percentage of conversations ends up in dates, and a percentage of dates ends up in relationships, I suppose given my 3 actual matches in 9 months, It would take me a few hundred years to get a date and thousands of years to get into a relationship using Tinder. So, after 9 months of using Tinder, I was back to square one. But I was 9 months older, and also if I rationalize the fact that 0 out of 25,000 women found me decent enough to go out with me, it would obliterate my self-esteem. It didn't because I know better, but it could. I mean, think about it, 25,000. Imagine the diversity in taste and preferences and needs and perceptions that there should be. Even if I was a potato or a mouse, heck, even if I was Gollum, the my precious creature from the Lord of the Rings, there should be some out of the 25,000 who'd be like, you know what, at this point in my life, that's exactly what I want. It should be statistically impossible for anyone and anything to have 0 people out of 25,000 interested in them. So that was my Tinder experience, the last one. I've never been on a dating app ever since, and I almost feel good looking now. I think that at this point, more quality romantic relationships are initiated via LinkedIn rather than with all other actual dating apps combined. Okay, that's all for now. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, take care. Bye.